people of Lucent Technologies are proud to sponsor this tribute to our United States disabled sports team and to their accomplishments at the 1996 Paralympics in Atlanta. These athletes exemplify the determination, hard work, and outstanding talent which has become a part of our American heritage. We at Lucent applaud you. Lucent Technologies has and will continue to strongly support the U.S. disabled sports team in its historic athletic endeavors. There is a growing awareness of the Paralympic movement and the tremendous impact it has had on the participants, the sports community, and our society. Please join us at Lucent Technologies in showing our American spirit by supporting Paralympics at all levels. To the U.S. team, we salute you.
The United States disabled sports team represents America at competitive sporting events around the world. We have set more records and earned more medals than any other country. At the 1996 Paralympics alone, we won 46 gold medals, 46 silver medals, and 65 bronze medals. 491 team members, athletes, coaches, and support staff showed their muscle in this elite arena.
I declare the 1996 Paralympic Games of Atlanta open.
The opening ceremonies of the 1996 Paralympic Games in Atlanta brought together athletes from over 120 nations in a display of fellowship and strength witnessed by a crowd of 80,000 cheering fans. We can still feel the excitement of this momentous event.
Walking into the stadium when they announced the United States of American team and hearing the crowd cheer gives you an immense sense of pride.
It feels great to be a member of the United States team. You're among the best in the world, and it's a high honor and a high achievement.
I've done things that other people hadn't had that chance to do, and being in disabled sports it's made it happen for me.
The Paralympics are absolutely fabulous. This is where the real athletes are.
The U.S. team shows they have no limits when it comes to competitive sports. They lead the Paralympic movement in triumph of the human spirit.
It's not a disability issue, it's a human issue.
I'm really in this for more than just sports. I think this is a microcosm of life to show that disability is only a state of mind and that athletics shows people that the abilities of the human spirit can come out and be bountiful and plentiful and oftentimes untapped.
Much of what those of us in our 40s really talk about
is how when we were younger, we didn't have role models. And the lack of role models really made it very difficult for many of us and for many other disabled people. So what we think is really exciting is that there are so many role models today that disabled children and newly disabled adults really have a choice.
You're welcome. You guys come watch next week, okay? I'll sign more next week. You come see me, okay?
I don't know if Michael Jordan could play wheelchair basketball. I just don't know if they could do it. It's a very difficult thing to do, and it's not the actual playing of the sport, it's the acceptance of being okay with a disability and then going on. The hardest step is not doing the first 400-meter sprint. The hardest step is saying, I'm all right with this and I can go on.
Our American team includes some of the finest athletes and some of the finest individuals in the world. I know that our American team will thrill people all around the world with their courage and their achievements. And we will be reminded everywhere, but especially here in the United States, how much more we can accomplish when all people everywhere are given the chance to participate fully in our national life.
In the Rose Garden, it was very nice to be there. It sort of gave us a sense of belonging in the sports society, because we were being looked at so differently. So when the president passed the torch and congratulated us for making the team, that was a big honor for me.
The team arrived in Atlanta to a parade of support. The community's understanding and enthusiasm for Paralympic competition was unmistakable as the games were set to begin.
I know many of you had the opportunity to run the torch, and I thank you for all that you have done.
This is like the Mayflower coming to America. This is just the beginning. It's the discovery of a new world. It's the discovery of a new sports opportunity.
Atlanta is known as the birthplace of the civil rights movement, and with the great legacy of Dr. King and his message of inclusion and not discriminating against anyone, the Paralympic Games offer us a very special opportunity to not only welcome these marvelous athletes from around the world, but also to look inward and find ways of improving our city so that we do include the disabled.
Just to say that we have various facilities that are being used is not enough. I think the whole important part of it is to have our citizens interact with the participants. I think that's what makes it all worthwhile.
We're basically one big family moving into one big city for a 2-week period of time. Roughly what they do is they bring in the members of the team and give them their uniforms and whatever other materials that go along with being an athlete.
The U.S. team has been so gracious. We had them at the center for a reception, and it was supposed to go from 6 to 8, and at 10 o'clock they were still there talking to our patients and our families and our donors and people, and they value the games for the competition, number one, but also for the message they carry.
Paralympic competitions were televised nationwide for the first time in 1996, and American medalists made headlines around the world.
Look at a Tony Volpin test, double leg amputee, born with no hands and no feet, running on prosthetic devices, running the 100 meters and the 200 meters in less than, in just mere seconds and fractions of a second, you know, beyond the Olympic record and the Olympic and the world record. That performance is what will drive the stories of these athletes to the sports page.
The thing we can do to get the reporters to look at the Paralympics as the biggest event after the actual Olympic Games is to have them come out to one of our events, to watch us compete, to get us known, to say, well, Larry Banks, this guy, he holds the world record in his event, so he's a force to be reckoned with.
You can catch pieces of it on closed circuit TV in the village. They have closed circuit for the athletes. But as far as major media coverage, I think that it's certainly grown since Spain.
I really believe that this competition and the amount of publicity and the positive publicity that's gone out is educating America, one of the best educations in a short amount of time that's probably ever occurred in history.
I'm here playing wheelchair rugby, the best sport in the world. I think the media coverage is getting better, and I think as our sport grows, I believe the media coverage will enjoy it because it's a very physical sport, as you saw today, and I believe society likes those sports that are physical. Just look at the NFL and look at any other sport that has a lot of contact. People enjoy contact, and our sport, you want to see contact, you come to a wheelchair rugby game.
Through a wide variety of activities, family, friends, and fans supported U.S. athletes in their drive for excellence. Large and small businesses and thousands of volunteers who came to Atlanta to work at the Games joined year-round supporters in making the 1996 Paralympics a successful event for the athletes and for the world.
Allison's been a big driving force behind me this year, making sure I'm eating the right things, getting proper rest, and making sure that my coach does everything or takes care of me when I'm on the track, and Allison takes care of me when I'm off the track, so she deserves it.
I was glad my family was down here to see me, and I was glad the families all across America saw the Paralympians.
If it wasn't for my fiance and the people I work for and the people that love me, I wouldn't be here.
Every 4 years the Paralympic Games are held. They were held in '96 in Atlanta. For the first time ever, the U.S. team was fully supported by the U.S. Olympic Committee. Once they were selected, that team was supported in their travel and their registration costs, their on-site costs for the Paralympic Games. 1996 also marked a time of tremendous corporate support.
Well, first and foremost is the Coca-Cola Company, our first international sponsor. IBM has been very supportive, and IBM has a very large presence here in Atlanta. The Motorola Corporation also has a very large presence. But there's Bell South, Georgia Power.
I'm sponsored by High Country Archery. I am sponsored by Target and Dayton Hudson stores, and I'm also sponsored by Nikon scopes. Mike's Archery Shop in St. Cloud has devoted tons of time to me to help me get to where I am today.
The volunteers have a very strong hold in the role of the athlete. A lot of athletes rely heavily on volunteers to accomplish their training.
Oh, it's been really cool, definitely. I go around with the teams and I make sure they have all their towels and all the balls. And if they don't, I talk to somebody who gets them to me.
We're just here to help them, for instance, you know, make sure there's enough lighting in the gym, make sure the air conditioning doesn't freeze them out, and whatever requirements that they have.
The crowds have been great, the people have been really supportive.
It never ceases to be a great honor, a big privilege. When we take the blocks here, the crowd is very partisan, so it's USA, go USA. When I won the butterfly, I won by very little, but I didn't have to turn around and see the scoreboard to see if I'd won because the crowd was cheering, which is a great feeling.
Making it happen in Atlanta required intense training and discipline in the years and months preceding the Paralympic Games. When the competition began, the U.S. team was ready.
And when the world says you can't, champions say, watch me.
There's 3 groups riding here, and they all have different disabilities. This last group, they're all above the knee amputees, so they're all biking with one leg. And the group before that has below knee amputees, so they are using prosthesis and 2 legs, and so is that middle group. But the one main strategy you want is not to take the lead.
Let's go, Ronnie!
If you let somebody else take the lead and burn themselves out, so at the finish they have nothing and you have everything. It sounds a little unfair, but it isn't. That's bike racing.
We have meetings 2-3 times a day sometimes, and we prepare for each team. We go over every single player. We look at videotapes. This is the most prepared team I've ever played on. By far, the coaching staff has done a great job.
Last year in March, I selected the 12 players with 2 alternates. And then from there, we've had 3 training camps together. The last one was out at the OTC, the Olympic Training Center, Colorado Springs, the end of July. Then they went home for 10 days to sort of regroup, refresh, and then we met back here.
We have a dream team medical staff in here that's kept guys like me glued and pasted together over the last couple of weeks. They've been awesome.
Unfortunately, I've been spending a lot of the preparation time in the medical center. I got a fluke injury a few days before the game started. I pulled a bicep head sprinting. Right now I can use my arm. I'll be able to throw tonight. And Saturday they're expecting me to be able to do everything, maybe with a little discomfort, and that's nothing for me. I'm going to compete anyway.
The athletes, when they come into for care, they're appreciative of what's being done for them. They readily go along with the programs that you prescribe for them, and I think it's been a positive atmosphere.
I was able to do exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a sub 55 meter or 55 second. So obviously it feels great to be able to accomplish it. To have everything come through in the day that it really counts is a little bit of luck, and then just a bunch of mental stuff, just kind of mentally prepared for it. So I was glad I was able to pull everything together.
Dressage is an art form, and it's patterns, it's movements. And what helps this type of athlete is visualizing the test, sitting back and seeing each movement, slow motion, being perfect. My circles are round. My transitions from gaits going upward and downward are smooth and flowing. And this kind of language gets into the subconscious, it gets into your body, and sooner or later it gets down to your horse. And then everything's perfect. I've always have loved horses. They give me an immense sense of freedom and of joy. I can't explain it other than someone just having a great passion in their life. And this is my passion.
During the competition, just because you're trying to focus on your race and swimming with prelims and finals, you're pretty much taken up all day. But in the awards staging afterwards, after the races are over, I've gotten to talk with some of the competitors, and it's been a lot of fun. It's really fun finding out how they view our country, what they think of the United States, and how they compete.
Great to be here with all the other countries, to do the same sport, to keep trying and trying to get the scores to be on this level. It takes a lot of work. And I know everybody here has gone through that, but just to be here together and share it all together with all the other countries you see every year during competition, it just gives it a whole new feeling.
Won the 100 fly, got a gold, and broke my American record. Then I swam the 200 IM, and I got a bronze in that.
I got a silver medal in the track and raced as hard as I possibly could here.
I got a gold medal and I broke the world record. I can't ask for anything more. It's awesome, I love it.
And it gives you an immense sense of pride to be with a country who is sponsoring you and supporting you in the sport that you love.
I guess it's what it feels like to be in the Super Bowl. And as all my friends were there, I turned around and looked and saw faces everywhere yelling my name. You can't explain it until you feel it. It is something to be on that level. It's unbelievable.
Congratulations to athletes and staff of the United States Disabled Sports Team and its associate members, Disabled Sports USA, the Dwarf Athletic Association of America, the United States Association of Blind Athletes, the United States Cerebral Palsy Athletic Association, and Wheelchair Sports USA, working hard to prepare for the Paralympic Games in Sydney 2000. Good luck, team.